Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to another week's edition of the RDA Central West Business Leaders Breakfast. Very happy that you're able to join us because in the hot seat next to me this morning we have Dannielle Ford, the Director Solicitor from well-known prominent Orange law firm Cheney Suthers. Dannielle,
welcome
to
for
breakfast.
having me, Sam.
Yeah, no, great to have you here. Dannielle, as I said, Director Solicitor at Cheney Suthers, but for those that don't know you, can you tell us, I guess, a little bit about your professional journey and your connection to the Central West?
Yeah, so I am born and bred Orange local, went to school at Orange High and completed year 12 obviously, then went on to uni at the University of New England in Armidale. Spent about the first, 12 months on campus and realised that that was not the life for me, and my parents had picked up that Cheney and Wilson, as it then was advertising for a legal secretary. So at just 19 years old, I did a telephone interview with Peter Wilson and was fortunate enough to get the job. Worked full-time and studied full-time, which was, I wouldn't recommend it, but we got there in the end. And then I was admitted as a solicitor in 2014 and have been here ever since, basically. So 13 years.
So sink or swim for time management if you're
That's
working
right.
full-time
That's right.
or doing
Yeah,
duty
that's exactly
full-time.
right. That's right.
I guess as someone who grew up in the Central West and in Orange, how's it changed over the last 10, 15 years?
I think it's definitely growing to be more of a business hub. And I think that there's a lot of great businesses around locally that you wouldn't have seen, 10 or 15 years ago. There's sort of always been the big law firms in Orange, and there's been some of the big business in Orange, like the Mines has always been around, but to see some of the other sort of up and coming businesses is really good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about that just off air before we started this morning about unearthing, especially through the business breakfast, these fantastic local leaders and the diversity of those businesses that are in our region. I guess something else that probably has shaped your career was, you said you were doing university externally through UNE.
That's right.
What did you learn about yourself doing it externally? And what's some of those lessons that you've kind of implemented into your professional career?
Yeah, so I think, as you said, sink or swim in terms of time management skills. That was really important. For me, being on campus, I was probably not using my time as well as I could, As
any uni student
I know,
ever.
as any uni student knows who's on campus, it's one of those things where you only drink on days that end with Y. And I think I was finding that my time was definitely more spent socialising as opposed to focusing on uni. So coming back home and having no choice but to, focus on work throughout the day and then focus on uni at night time and on the weekends really helped me just to focus that energy. And I mean, it's one of those things where the uni certainly doesn't recommend that, people study full-time and work full-time, but it worked for me and I got it done.
Do you have a background in the legal field within your family, or what drove your passion or interest in a legal career?
So I really didn't have a passion for the law. As funny as that sounds now, being an owner of a law firm, but I didn't do legal studies at school. I was completing the applications for early entry during high school and saw that UNE offered a double degree in law and criminology, and I was looking at doing something in the social science space, and when I saw that law was there, I thought, I was in the debating team and I, did a lot of public speaking at school, being on the SRC and different bits and pieces, so I thought that might be a decent fit, I suppose.
And here you are now. And I guess that's probably a nice dovetailing into my next question. 2019, you joined Alice and Kirsty and you took ownership of Cheney Suthers.
Correct.
Tell us about, I guess, that process.
Yep.
And how your firm, I guess, differs in the ethos of Cheney Suthers compared to maybe some other firms in the region.
That's right. So I think that for Alice, Kirsten and I, we don't like to put ourselves forward as just being mums or just being females in terms of business, because, I speak for myself and I speak for the other two. I think we're really good at what we do. But that was the thing that brought us together, is that we had been friends and colleagues when we'd worked at different firms, and I've always been here, obviously. But sort of towards 2018, middle of 2018, Alice and I had been having a chat and thought that there might be a business opportunity. Tony and Aaron, I think, had always viewed me as a succession plan, but I knew that being a sole practitioner is not something that I was keen on doing. So I got together with Alice and we had a bit of a chat, and I think she and Kirsty had also been talking about, starting up their own firm, and it just was it was a good, right place, right time, and it was nice that the three of us could take that on board. As to our ethos, I think that we're trying to do law differently, and of course you have to have the professionalism and you have to be good at what you do and be able to offer your clients, timely, professional, good legal advice that suits their own personal needs. But we're trying to be vibrant and approachable and, as I said, just do things a little bit different.
And I guess one of the things that must have been difficult, I can imagine, is transitioning from legal practitioner to business owner operator.
Yep.
Tell us about that transition for yourself and your partners.
Yep.
What did you learn through that process?
So I think for me, the first change was going from, baby legal secretary to fee earner in terms of being a solicitor. So that was change number one. And then going from legal practitioner to business owner, you of course have all of the changes in terms of, I'm not just working for the firm anymore. I'm not just seeing clients anymore. There's HR to look after in terms of, you have to make sure your firm's insured. You have to look after your premises and where you're going to be. And I think for me, already being at the firm, I knew the staff, I knew what we were getting into, but taking that step, we've got some staff who have been here for over 30 years, and taking the step to being their boss, I suppose, which is not a term I like to use, but that's what it is. That was quite tricky, just trying to find that balance of, I'm now in that position, and fortunately for me, they took it on board and have adapted to the change in the new ownership really well.
Absolutely, and I guess that's been a challenging 12-18 months for all business owner operators.
Absolutely.
What do you learn about yourself through such a unprecedented and up and down period as a result of COVID and everything else that's unfolded over the last little period?
It was certainly not something that we were hoping for, obviously going to a global pandemic, not quite 12 months into owning a business, but we change, adapt was really the key for us. And we started off having our team members within the office, and then when things started to, heat up a little bit, we shifted them to moving from home. Some of our older staff members felt a little uncomfortable about moving to working from home, but now they absolutely love it, and we struggled to get them back into the office. But we hosted, morning Zoom meetings for our team. So everyone was on Zoom at, 8:40 in the morning, had our morning meeting. What are you hoping to achieve for the day? And just made sure that everyone was still physically there and felt supported and present.
That's a good tip, and I think that's come through from a lot of businesses that we've chatted to, is just that sense of connection through the period, even if it's not face to face, through Zoom and through working remotely. Just staying connected to your staff base has been essential.
Yeah.
Now look, we're going to hit our special guest with the Fast Five, where we delve a little bit deeper to learn a little bit more about Dannielle. Who do you reckon could play you in a movie of your life?
Sounds cliche, but Reese Witherspoon, I suppose. Okay, Legally Blonde.
Okay, I'm not going to ask any further. We all know the story, that movie, so there's
probably not as preppy as Elle Woods, but
Good, I like that one. Hidden talent or hobby?
I'm pretty much an open book, but I do like to go to F45 in Orange, and throughout high school, probably a less known fact about me is I was in a vocal group throughout high school.
Okay.
Whether I was great or not, that's
I'm not going to ask
up to the judges. I'm not going to,
I'm not going to ask you for a rendition of anything this morning.
No, thank you. And I also played rugby for a season with Orange Emus.
Okay, look out. Multi-skilled and
a
lot of strings to the bow. Best place to get a coffee in Orange?
It's probably the
loaded question.
Hardest question of today. So can I say, be like a real lawyer and say it depends on where you are at the time. So some of my favourites would be Nimrod's, Omar, Groundstone, Bill's, Good Eddie. I think that's about it. They're my locals.
I think that just says the calibre of the offerings in the Orange at the moment. It's unbelievable. Now, if you weren't a lawyer, what do you think would have been an alternate career that you might have gone down?
Throughout high school, I thought that I might like to be a teacher, or I might like to, do something in the social science space, but they weren't things that I was really passionate about. I was an air cadet throughout my teens, and I thought that maybe an officer in the Air Force would have been a good fit for me.
Well, look, I guess being a business owner, manager, there's a bit of teaching, I guess, bringing the next generation through. Hidden gem of the Central West. So this could be a person, a place, a location. When you've got visitors coming into Orange or the Central West, it's somewhere you like to take them.
So for our family, we really enjoy going to Blaney and Canandra pools. Okay. I think they're a good spot for kids.
Yeah, especially with the weather that's just come across the last couple of weeks. It's probably a great spot. Now, one of the things, the other hats that you wear is you're the president of the Central West Law Society.
That's right.
Can you tell us, I guess, why do you think having these professional development, networking opportunities for young professionals is so important?
I think that you obviously have a working relationship with the other solicitors who you often have on the other side, but to be able to network with those professionals and learn from them, but also in the sense that you can, if you know someone and they're on the other side of a matter, you can pick up the phone, you can have that preliminary discussion before you launch off and fire off a letter, which is often better for clients. And
also fosters, I guess, a bit of collaboration between the legal fraternity cohort in the Central West.
And we're quite lucky, particularly in Orange, that there isn't it's not really cliquey. Everyone seems to put aside their professional sides of things and all gets along quite well.
Which is also important, I guess, from a professional development, but also if you're a new kind of lawyer into the region, helping to give you that social network as well. Probably a nice lead into my next question about regionalisation. It's been the talk of the town with COVID, people looking to move to the Central West, and we've seen it with the foot traffic and visitation to our region. But if somebody was looking to make the move in your sector, what's some advice that you would give, and what are some of the opportunities that you've been allowed to have being a lawyer in a regional setting that you may not have got if you're in a capital city like Sydney?
Look, if we've got any listeners who are from one of the capital cities and you're looking at a tree change to Orange, we couldn't recommend it high enough, and we're always looking for new talent to come on board at Cheney Suthers.
Nice plug.
I know, just a bit of a plug. But I think from a work-life balance point of view, it's just second to none. To be able to get in the car of a morning, drop kids off at daycare and still be at the office by, 8 or 8:30 in the morning is just something that you wouldn't see in a metro city. I've also had the opportunity of doing lots of different areas of law to work out what fuels my passion. Whereas in Sydney, I've got colleagues down there who they do one thing really well, and that's great for them, but they've not had the opportunity to experience what the other areas of law are.
I guess in a regional setting, you probably have to be a bit more of a legal generalist.
That's
because you're covering probably a broader breadth of topics and subject matter.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the other things that we've talked about a little bit this morning has been the importance, I guess, of leadership and being a mentor. Dannielle, you've come on board to be one of our mentors for the 10 for 10 Leadership Dialogue this year. Thank you very much. But what's one of the pieces of advice or wisdom that a previous mentor of yours has given you that's helped you in your professional journey?
I think, first of all, obviously not being scared to ask questions. If you don't know the answer to something, seek out an answer or tell someone that you don't know the answer. And second of all is never be the smartest person in the room. And that's why I've taken over the business with Alice and Kirsty, so we can feed off one another.
Yeah, that's good advice, I guess, about asking questions. And sometimes you get a bit nervous, especially in a professional setting, but it might just open the next door or give you a direction or a perspective that you might not have got already.
That's right.
Talking about your partners, I believe you guys have just celebrated an important anniversary recently.
We have. So we've just had 2 years of being, work wives of Cheney Suthers, and we were fortunate enough, at least for this year, to be in the office to be able to celebrate that anniversary with our team.
And I believe you've gone for a bit of an expansion in recent times, but can you tell us what's your prediction for the next 12 to 18 months, not just for your firm, but for Orange and the region?
So probably for our firm, a bit of a spoiler alert, our worst kept secret, we're relocating to 173 Lords Place towards the end of this year. So that, for those who are local to Orange, is the Complete Garden building. So that'll be an exciting move for our firm, and also we'll be looking to open up a firm and have a presence in Molong because Kirsty's recently moved out there, and we think that that's a good opportunity. As for Orange, I think that it's only going to continue to grow. You look around and you can see all of the housing developments and expansion that's going on there. I think it'll just continue to grow, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, absolutely, and I share your optimism for the region. I think it's going to continue to prosper and grow going into the future. And there you go, guys. You got your scoop on a Friday morning.
That's right.
For the end of the year. But look, Dannielle, really appreciate your time this morning. It's been great to learn, I guess, a little bit more about your professional journey. But what's the easiest way for listeners to engage with you, to learn more, I guess, about Cheney Suthers, but also maybe the Central West Law Society?
Listeners can find us on Instagram at Cheney Suthers. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn. We do have a website which is needs improving.
But we'll put the link up anyway, and it'll all be up for after this morning's chat for anyone that wants to get some more information.
And as far as the Central West Law Society goes, it also has a website, and members of the legal fraternity can look us up on there.
Oh, too easy. But look, Dannielle, thank you so much for your time this morning. Great to learn a little bit more, as I said. And for everybody else, I hope you've got a lot out of this morning's chat. Tune in same time next week. But until then, have a great day, a great weekend, and we'll chat to you soon.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks so much.